What's going on, guys? Dan Gleezak back with another video. Today we are going to be going over the MHSAA Michigan High School Football brackets, and I am going to be predicting every game from divisions 1 through 8 and picking my state champ winner for each division. Let's get it. In 1 District 2, the other UP game, we have Iron Mountain versus Lons. Now, Iron Mountain is typically a D8 powerhouse, but because there's so little schools in the UP, they schedule the same team multiple times. So 2 of their 3 losses are to Bark River Harris. Then Lons 5-4. I forgot to say Iron Mountain is 5-3. Lons 5-4. They played each other earlier in the year, and Iron Mountain won 30-26. So it was a close game, but I'll take the consistency of Iron Mountain over Lons. Now for Region 2, District 1, we have Maple City Glen Lake versus Mansalona. Maple City Glen Lake 7-1. Their only loss is to an amazing Traverse City St. Francis team. Mansalona is 5-4, and they've had a few hiccups along the way. They also played each other. In fact, this is a back-to-back rematch. They played each other last week, and Glen Lake won by 1 point. I think that was a fluke, though, in the sense that it was so close. I think Glen Lake will win by much more this time. Our Region 2 District 2 game, we have East Jordan versus Frankfurt. East Jordan and Frankfurt both 6-3. They played each other in week 8 and East Jordan won. East Jordan's losses are to Glen Lake, the team we just talked about before, Mansalona, the team we talked about before, and Kalkaska, who started off amazing but ended up missing the playoffs. Frankfurt also has a loss to Glen Lake and Mansalona, so we have some comparable common opponents here between the two teams, and East Jordan won the last time they played, and East Jordan played the other two teams a lot closer too, so I'm going to give this one to East Jordan. So I misspoke. This whole grouping up here was Region 1. This is District 1 and this was District 2, so I misspoke. Starting in Region 2, District 1, we have the title favorites, undefeated Beale City versus Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart. Undefeated Beale City, they have just dominated everybody they've played, as you see here. It has not even been close. Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart, they were 8-man football last year, which in Michigan, if you don't have enough people on your team to play 11-man, you play 8-man. So they were 8-man last year, and they moved up to 11-man, and they make the playoffs. But this one is not going to be close. Beale City is going to destroy them. Sticking with the second game of District 1, we have Newville Catholic Central versus Saginaw Michigan Lutheran Seminary. You're going to get a lot of long names here in D8. Saginaw here, their losses, they played Lutheran Seminary earlier in the year and they won by 2 touchdowns. Their losses are to an undefeated Valley Lutheran and a very good Ithaca team. Lutheran Seminary also lost to that Ithaca and that undefeated team, but they also lost to the team they're playing, Catholic Central. So We have lots of common opponents we can see, and Catholic Central played the other school. Actually, it's all pretty similar. This one, this one really could be a toss-up, but I will give it to Catholic Central to do the double over them. Now to start District 2 of Region 1, we have another title favorite, Harbor Beach versus Reese. Harbor Beach, title favorite, undefeated. You can see they have also just swept through their conference here. A lot of great wins, a lot of team that only have one or two losses, and Harbor Beach is the team to beat them. So they have a lot of good opponents. Reese, I mean, they don't stand a chance. If we're being honest, they are not. They played earlier in the year, only lost by 19, but this one could be bad. We're going with Harbor Beach. The second game, Unionville Sebawang versus Genesee. Now both of these teams really, they have ugly schedules, ugly records, ugly wins. Neither of them are really that good. This is a very lackluster matchup here, but one of the teams has got to win, so we're going to give it to Unionville. Kicking it off in Region 3, we have probably the third and final title favorite, Hudson versus Centerville. Undefeated Hudson. Look at this, 86-8, dude. Like, that is just crazy. They blow out every team they face. Uh, this is another one of those things where Centerville, they just don't stand a chance. This one's not going to be close. Hudson all the way. Matchup of District 1 is Decatur versus White Pigeon. This is definitely the most intriguing first round matchup, as they played 2 weeks ago for the conference championship, and Decatur came out on top 22-14. Now, they both have 7-2 records, and they're both in the same conference, but I think White Pigeon's opponents, a lot of them are the same, like I said, are very weak. Both of them have very weak conferences, but Decatur came out on top last time, and they went to the semis last year. They don't have quite the same good team, but I think White Pigeon's a little overrated. I'll pick Decatur. Now for District 2, we have Springport versus Manchester, and although Springport is undefeated, as you can see, I don't think anybody is really picking them to go all the way like the other three undefeated teams that I talked about. I think they just don't have quite the same amount of impressive wins, or maybe the same pedigree. People just aren't picking them. But 9-0 versus 5-4, I mean, you got to pick the 9-0 team. So Springport. A very intriguing matchup here. Like I said, this is neck and neck for the best match of the first round. New Lothrop versus Fowler. New Lothrop 6-3, a down year at 6-3. They are one of the greatest Michigan programs of all time, let alone 8-man programs. And they are facing Fowler, also 6-3. One of those teams, they're always consistent. They're always 6-7 wins, 8 wins, year in, year out. This is going to be a very good matchup. Fowler's schedule is very weak, but New Lothrop is a little down this year. I'm going to go with potentially the upset. I'm going to pick New Lothrop. Finally, we get to Region 4, the last district, the last region. Starting it off, District 1, we have Madison Heights, Madison versus Auburn Hills, Oakland Christian. 8-1 versus 5-4. Their only loss, they got obliterated, but it's only one loss. And Auburn Hill, you got four to look at. They're not all the best. They're coming into the playoffs on a 3-game losing streak. You never want to see that. I'll take Madison Heights, Madison. Team so good, they have their name twice. For our second game of District 1, we have the smallest team in all of 11-man Michigan, a total enrollment of 83 students. That's right, the entire school has 83 students. Waterford Our Lady of the Lakes versus Clarkston Everest College. They played in week 7 earlier in the year, and Clarkston won. They're in the same conference. They have a lot of common opponents that you can go through, see how they matched up against them. I don't think, uh, although, so the team over here on the right, the numbers is your total points. The team with more points is home. So although Waterford is home, meaning they are the favorite, I'm going to go with Clarkston on this one. It's a pretty even matchup, but I'll go with Clarkston. Our last district of the day, Region 4, District 2, we have our final undefeated team, Melvindale Academy for Business and Tech. What a name. Versus Riverview Gabriel Richard. This is another one, like I said before, even though they're 9-0, nobody thinks they're going to be winning states. They have one of these schedules where they face all the small teams around the Detroit area, and all the small teams in Detroit are they're just horrible. So they're just beating up on a bunch of bums for the most part, and yeah, even though they're 9-0, the team that they're facing really is not much better. I do think this is definitely upset watch, but I'll let them get out of the first round. I'll give it to Melvindale. Final matchup of round one, Allen Park Cabrini versus Southfield Bradford Academy. Allen Park Cabrini 8-1, one of their best seasons of all time, regular seasons at the very least. They were undefeated until the final week. They got blown out by another undefeated team in a way higher division. So they could be legit. And then a 6-3 Southfield Bradford. They faced Melvindale. They did have to forfeit a game earlier, but again, they face all these bad Detroit teams, and they even lost to one of them, 2-6. What a score, right? So I'm gonna give this one to Allen Park. So that was the first round of D8. We are on to the districts here. My predictions would be Bark River Harris will face Iron Mountain for the third time this season, and Bark River Harris will win for the third time this season. Give me Bark River Harris. Region 1 District 2 Championship, Maple City Glen Lake versus East Jordan. 7-1 versus 6-3. I think this is a little deceiving though, and Glen Lake won a close game earlier in the season, but I'm going to pick Glen Lake again. Region 2 District 1 Championships, Beale City versus Saginaw Nouvelle. This is another one that's upset watch. Nouvelle is 7-2, but both of their losses are one-score games against very good teams. So I do think this is upset watch, but I'll take Beale City. This one, there's really not much to say. Harbor Beach title favorites versus Unionville, and they're not good. This one's not going to be close. Harbor Beach. Region 3 District 1 Championships, Hudson versus Decatur. Decatur may be a little underrated this year, but Hudson is extremely good. I'm going to go with Hudson. District 2 championships, we have undefeated Springport versus New Lothrop. New Lothrop would again be the away team and be the underdogs in this matchup, but they're going to go on a little run. They have a newfound confidence with their part of the bracket. Give me New Lothrop again for the upset. Down here in the final region, District 1 Championship, Madison Heights Madison versus Clarkston Everett. This is another one that could be very sneaky for some people. Wouldn't be too surprised if Clarkston ended up taking it, but I'll go with the safe pick and I'll pick Madison Heights again. Our final district championship, undefeated Melvindale ABT versus Allen Park Cabrini. What I said before still holds true, although Melvindale is at home. Their schedule really has not been that good this year, and you could even say they're a fraudulent 9-0. So I'm gonna go with Cabrini. Into the regional championships we go. Bark River Harris versus Maple City Glen Lake. I think Bark River Harris has shown that they can be very dominant, although they mostly face UP teams. I don't think Maple City Glen Lake has quite the record that they've had. I'll take Bark River Harris for regional number 1. Now, if this comes to fruition, this may be one of the best matchups in all of the playoffs, let alone the best matchup of D8. Undefeated Beale City versus undefeated Harbor Beach. Two Goliaths going at it. It's a shame that these teams have to face this early in the competition. I do think Harbor Beach's opponents this season have been a little bit stiffer, a little bit tougher than Beale City is. I will not be taking Beale City. I will be taking Harbor Beach in the matchup of 11 and O's. Down to regional championship number 3, Hudson versus New Lothrop, and unfortunately for New Lothrop, this is where their miracle season is going to have to come to an end. It's always tough to win a regional championship. It's even tougher when you're facing Hudson. So give me Hudson. Our final regional championship for D8, Madison Heights Madison versus Allen Park Cabrini. I think this region down here, region 4, is by far the easiest, and that obviously significantly favors Cabrini, so I'll take Cabrini. Here we go. The semifinals for D8. Bark River Harris versus Harbor Beach, and Hudson versus Allen Park Cabrini. Semifinal number 1, Bark River Harris versus Harbor Beach. Bark River Harris is having a great season, but that UP competition is no match for what Harbor Beach has been up against and just how darn good they are. I'm taking Harbor Beach. Another fantastic matchup down here. Undefeated Hudson versus one-loss Cabrini, and Cabrini got this far because of their region, but I think that's pretty much the only reason. I don't think they're that great of a team, although they probably will win regionals because their region is so weak. I think this will be an easy matchup for Hudson. And here we go. Here we go. The time that everyone has been waiting for, the D8 Championship. My prediction for Harbor Beach versus Hudson will be Hudson. I think I may be a little biased, maybe a little bit of a Hudson lover, pause, but I think I think from what I've seen out there, from their schedule, all the things, I just think Hudson is far and above the best team. I think if they can make it, if if this matchup here happens and they can get past a sneaky New Lothrop team, I think they're in the clear. So I think Hudson will coast. That is right, coast. to a D8 championship.